hot the past couple of shows coming
Have I?
the audio. Just turn you down just a little bit. Yours just a little bit. I'm gonna fix you here, but you've been
Yeah.
coming in hot on the audio, which means that like it's you. That's
Is
a
that
little.
better?
Let me hear it.
Hello, testing 1 2 3.
Turn yourself down just a little bit.
Testing 1 2 3.
There you
Hello,
go.
hello.
There you go. Let's see.
Okay,
Yeah, you're buzzing just a hair on the audio for like the audio ones.
I hear you.
So I meant to tell you. Yeah. So let's hope that sounds a little better now. All right, we got 2 minutes. Welcome everybody in the chat room. We should be live.
Yes,
Buddy. Yes, what?
we are. I have a yellow live button, so.
Oh, well, there you go. Then we are.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Tonight we have got continuing on the Mystery May with what's the show called? What's my show notes?
Mystery May puzzle solving help.
Yeah, that's what guys. I had nothing to do with the show. Just to let you all know. Obviously, if anybody who knows me worth a lick knows that I am not a puzzle catcher, and so this is all Jesse and I actually could have stayed at the baseball game, just let them run the show. I'm not. I literally, if you see my show notes here, guys, literally my name, there's nothing in under it because I've not helped at all to this show. Yeah. So, but it's gonna be. This is one of the shows, guys. You want to see the show notes because there is a crap ton of links.
Yes, there is.
I'll be showing out. So after the show is over, when I post the show live to the website, the archives, you can see the links. But you're going to want to check out these links, guys. Jesse's got links up. Chad's got links up. Oh, the secret puzzle links. Yes. Oh, the puzzle links.
And now I'm on this puzzle solving kick. And I'm
But I like-
literally trying to solve a puzzle right now. I'm not getting anywhere.
I need you to be on a puzzle.
You have to show it, and we'll solve it live.
Because I don't want to. Someone live. Oh, Cash One Live 6 miles away, Ron.
That was like an hour ago.
Oh yeah, 7:30. Yeah, you're right. Well, I was coaching a baseball game.
It's in the woods.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's a marker in the woods for Scott.
Love those microphones. All right, it's 8:30. Here we go. All right, guys, welcome everybody to another edition of Mystery May Chicago Geocache. This is the Chicago Geocaching Podcast. This is the Chicago Geocacher. What am I doing? All right, let's start this thing. Everybody ready? Chad, you good?
I don't
I'm
know.
ready.
Are you ready, Scott?
I am like so disheveled here, guys. Everybody, a half an hour ago, I was on a baseball field. I literally ran off, told my team thumbs up, and hightailed it off the field and into my car and back here because I had a baseball game tonight. So forgive me, I am like totally not prepared because I literally was on a baseball field a half an hour ago. So I'm kind of like just getting my things together here. Okay, so let's start this show. Let's get it. I'm gonna push play here on the audio. Everybody, Chad, you good? Jesse, you good?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Sure.
Okay. Audio is on. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday. It is 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name is Scott Burks. We got Shorty Knits manning the phones. And please welcome to my virtual left, my co-host, Jazz427.
Howdy, y'all. Do you have a cache that's been puzzling you? Then you've come to the right place.
Yes, they have come to the right place, Chad, because tonight's episode is 562, and it's recorded live tonight on May 8th, 2019. And it is continuing with the Mystery May series that we've got going here. Mystery May, and it is puzzle solving help, Chad. The phone lines are open, so give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG, Chad.
Mm-hmm.
But first, always but first, Chad, we got to talk about Patreon. You know, guys, it costs a lot of money to make this podcast work. We can really use your help. I do this every week, and we got a great response with Patreon, and people are loving it on the other side. You know, on the inner circle, you get so much extra audio, so much extra video that you guys who are not patrons are missing. There's so much on the other side that you're not seeing. There's, you know, Friday night roundtables. and Off the Record series and the Out and About series. There's so much stuff on the other side you're not seeing. And so if you'd like to, you can give us a little scratch and at patreon.com/the geocaching podcast. We love our current subscribers. We've got a new subscriber, Chad. We've got E-Rabel out of Marietta, Ohio. Chad, Marietta, Ohio. Anybody ever been there?
I have never been there, but I'm looking it up on the map, and it looks like it's on the Ohio River on the southeast part.
Jesse,
Ohio.
you got family in Ohio. Ever been to Marietta, Ohio? Have I ever been to Marietta, Ohio, Jess?
Well, I think it's right on the border. Yeah. Wait, I'm trying
Well,
to
if it's
find
right on the border, I've been there.
I'm trying to find an actual map. I think that is where you cross over the Ohio River into West Virginia. Let me see. Yeah, it's just on the other side of the river. That's where. Yes, you have been there.
I've been there. Right.
You've been there. Yeah, there's a really nice bridge there.
Is there?
Mm-hmm. And I always get gas on the Ohio side of the bridge.
Is it cheaper?
Yes.
All right, good to know.
It used to be anyway.
It's been a while.
I don't do that drive very often anymore.
Yeah, we haven't been to West Virginia in years. Yeah. So, guys, you want to give us a hand? We'd truly appreciate it. Just like Aribold has. Patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast.
All right. Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
And tonight we're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who would rather go caching than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com, LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, instant tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com. That's ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products from all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone soap, itch spray, and 2 cent choices of bug spray are all great for the outdoor enthusiasts like you guys, geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And finally, by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at www.practicalgeocaching.com. That's www.practicalgeocaching.com. That's a mouthful.
There you go. Way to go, Chad. Yeah, guys, we got a new sponsor of the weekend. Welcome to Practical Geocaching to the GCPC family. Guys, visit these guys. They got some good stuff. Jessie went to the website when I told her about sponsoring, and she enjoyed it. Jessie liked a lot of this stuff on it. She's like, oh, look at all this.
I might be making a few purchases.
Yeah, Jessie. One thing that I really like, Chad, they actually have one of those. They have a bison lock, not a bison, a
preform lock.
So you could lock it. Preform, so it's making a puzzle cache. I'm digging
awesome.
That. I'm really digging that. So yeah, guys, visit them. Give them practicalgeocaching.com. You make a purchase, let them know the GCPC sent you, and they're good people. So they're part of the family. So be nice to them. As always, guys, you can find links to our sponsors in our show notes. Really quick news update here before we do anything else. Let's go. So Chad, you know how we had our porch cast went live 3 weeks ago?
How's that going? You got any new finds?
We do. We have a bunch of new finds. Yeah, people are slowly making their way to our house. But we said on this show, hey, if you are from out of town and you come to our house, first you got to solve our puzzle. And then if you come to our house and you see that we're home, you knock on that door and we'll give you a prize. So sure enough, Bucky Finnegan from Ohio Our doorbell rings at like 8ish last night. I'm like, I'm doing the dishes. Who's at the door? Bucky Finnegan is at the door.
That's Buckeye Finnegan.
Buckeye Finnegan. Sorry,
He's an Ohioan.
I
Buckeye.
like Bucky Finnegan better. He said, "Hey, I'm a listener to the show. Love your show. I'm here to get your cash." I said, "Oh, hold on." Jesse gave me a little prize. What did we give him, Jesse?
Give him a path tag.
Give him a path tag. A Shorten his
Awesome.
exclusive path tag he got. Only available to special people. She just doesn't hand those things out.
I don't, because I always forget to take them with me.
So when she was actually sitting at her desk, so she was right there. So So Buckeye Finnegan, he thank you so much for visiting our house. And again, our listeners, if you happen to be in Chicago, around the Chicago area, you come find our house, you knock on the door, see if we're home, you get a prize. So thank you so much, Buckeye Finnegan, for coming to get our cash. I don't even know, Just did he no, he hasn't logged it yet.
He hasn't logged it yet.
No. I didn't even look to see if he swapped. It's become like a TB hotel, man. There's a ton of TBs in there. So
awesome.
Yeah. So it's doing good.
How big is this thing?
It's an ammo can.
It's an ammo can.
It's a 30 cal ammo can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, sorry,
yeah.
it's a 50 cal ammo can. My mistake. I apologize.
So yeah, get a lot of room there for
Oh,
trackables.
plenty of room. Oh, dude, it's swagged up the yin yang, and there's a ton of trackables in there too. Yeah, we loaded it up. It's good. It's a good cache. It's a good one. It's good people.
Awesome.
So tonight, guys, we are continuing with Mystery May. Mystery May. It is the puzzle solving help. Now, I am no good at this at all, so I'm just going to back off tonight. And because this is not my forte, I usually leave this to Jesse, all the puzzle solving. Jesse and Chad have worked hard on tonight's show. So I'm gonna leave this in Chad's hands because he did the majority of the work here tonight. So I will try and I will help move things along if necessary. But Chad, this is all you, kid. So guys, before we start, guys, this is one of the shows where you want to go to the show notes. Okay, I know I tell you to go to the show notes all the time, but nobody ever does. At least I don't think you do. If you go to geocachingpodcast.com, and then you go to what is it? I don't have it in front of me. You go to archives and then you go to show notes. You can see there is a ton of links in here, guys. If you want help with puzzle caches, and don't go now because if you're listening live, don't go now because the show notes don't go up till after the show goes live. So all right, the show goes up on the internet, so it's not live yet. But if you're listening this tomorrow, check your show notes because there's a ton of helpful links, and there is a ton of helpful links there. So Chad, take it away, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, where do you start with a puzzle cache besides clicking on the actual puzzle itself? Well, I like to start with reading the page and then trying to figure out what the heck the puzzle is about. There's many different types of puzzles out there. Sometimes it could be as straightforward as having a generic question in the page. Those tend to be pretty easy, and we'll get into details about how to solve those later. But right now we're kind of trying to identify what the puzzles are. Some are mathematical problems to solve. Some are simple. Some are pretty complex, needing an engineering degree or a physics degree to solve some of them. Some are images, and we'll also get into that a bit more later. There's also the infamous blank page puzzles where you're like, WTF, people. Right. There's many possibilities here, from very simple to very complex solutions for those. There's the obvious ciphers and codes, but what cipher has been used? And there's also the not so obvious ciphers and codes. So you might have something in there that doesn't appear to be a cipher, but actually is. Mm-hmm. There's titles. So even the cache name itself can be a puzzle. Anagrams. There's play on words. So embedded information within the text. If it seems to be a bit wordy in the description, maybe you're looking for something that's within the wording itself.
I've seen those. Yes,
mm-hmm.
I've seen those. Yes.
There's puzzles such as crossword puzzles, Sudoku, lots of different types of puzzles, and even video games. So that's one that Scott would actually enjoy. So, but yeah, you guessed it. You get to play a video game in some of them. So Lost Sailors,
I've done those before. Yes, I have done those.
So yeah, Lost Sailors, who's back in Indiana now, but was out here in California for a while, has put out a bunch of those. So if you ever come across a Lost Sailors, a puzzle by Lost Sailors, those are ones you want to do. Those are really fun. So the next thing that I do is also check to see if there's a related page link. So a lot of people might not be aware of this, but sometimes at the top of the geocache page, just above the coordinates, there is a link there that says a related page.
Really?
You got one of those? Yeah. Anytime you got a Where I Go, there's going to be a related page link. That's where it takes you to the cartridge download. But for puzzles, some people will use that related link to put in a link to another page that might have the information or might have ways to solve it, or you might even need to simply go there and it's the solution itself.
Okay, really quickly though, hold on a second. So this is a whole lot of stuff here to soak up here. So
Yes.
This is all just where to start. This is literally just reading the page is everything he gave you. It's just reading the page. So really quickly on what you said, the related page link, what about on the app or even on Cashly? Do you know if those show up on those two different things?
Those show up there as well.
Okay, good.
Well, I don't know about Cashly. I would assume it does on Cashly.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You don't have.
But on the geocaching app, CGeo, every one that I've tried, the related link does show up.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Sorry. Continue. All right. Sorry. So let's continue. Figure out where to start looking and what to do with it. So
yeah. So first is try to get an idea of what kind of puzzle it is. Jesse, did you have anything that you wanted to add in here?
So honestly, the very first thing that I do, if I look at a puzzle and I go, I have no idea even where to start, the first thing I do is Google. I might copy and paste some text.
Mm-hmm.
I might just Google the title of the cache. I might Google, Google, if there's an image in it, I'll search the image. If you don't know, for people may not know, if you go to images.google.com, you can search any image and it will show you what it is, where else it is on the internet, who it is, if it's a person. So just start with a basic search, and that, believe it or not, will find you a ton of information.
Yeah, I know if you're using Google Chrome, at least you can right-click it, and it'll have an option in there to right-click the image, and they'll have an option there to search Google for image.
Right, or just images.google.com. Again, link is in the show notes.
All right. So after we tried to figure out what it is, I've got. So we'll just kind of go through a list of the ones that we've been able to identify. So images, there's lots of goodies here. So there's meta or XF data in it. So if you save the image off, you can pull up the properties of it. And sometimes the coordinates will be hidden right in the metadata. The XF data.
I found one of those. Yes, sure.
And sometimes it's a link to another page, so it might take you to somewhere else to do more puzzle solving.
Mm-hmm. And there are lots of websites that will extrapolate that data for you. If you're unsure of how to view the metadata on a picture or even what it is, just search for EXIF, EXIF, as in Frank, and there's sites out there. You just copy the link to the picture, paste it in that website, and it will show you everything behind the scenes that has to do with that image.
Yeah, personally, I use a Google Chrome, what do you call those?
A plugin.
Plugin for Google Chrome extension. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I turn it off when I'm not using it, but then I turn it on when I'm wanting to look at it, and it'll pop up a little icon over the image, and you click that icon, it'll pull up that XF data.
Yep, I have that too. That's one of the things on my list, if you want to talk about it now, is there's lots of different plugins that you can use for your browser. So I'll mention a few more as we go along.
Okay.
So go ahead.
So there's also, it could be hidden in the image itself. So I've seen the numbers hidden in the image. I've seen various things such as a braille representation, all kinds of different things hidden in the image. The image also may represent something. So if you got a geochecker on there, the image might represent a phrase or a word or something and it's a keyword puzzle, and you put that in the geochecker, and it will, if you got the right thing, it'll give you the solution. Oftentimes when that's out there, you'll have like a series of underscores representing how big the word is, or a series of words are. So that kind of helps you out.
I saw an image once that had a black border all the way around the outside of it. But when you zoomed in close, it was actually a series of dots. So it was like 4 dots close, and then a space, and then 2 dots. And then, and the number of dots represented the numbers for the chords. It was very nice you had to really zoom in on that picture though to see.
Yeah, I've seen Morse code used in that as well, where they got the zoom in look as well. So a bunch of different things like that. So one of the things, do all the houses have the same number of windows? There's different clues in there. If you got a picture of multiple pictures of similar things, and that can give you a different clue. Or what's the deal with this dancing man? You got a dancing man on the screen. Well, there's actually a dancing man cipher out there. Sometimes if you got something that's like a GIF that's going on, that's moving, that actually could be spelling out what it is.
Yes.
So, and then sometimes you got a GIF that, if it's a GIF image, especially, that looks like it just sits there, and then maybe every once in a while you'll see like a flash of white. Well, that one tends to be you're trying to capture that one split second of the image where it actually has the information in there. So it's a motion GIF, and there are tools like Gimpy that you can use to extract the layers of the GIF and actually see that final layer as well. And so that will help you out. But in general, you just got to figure out what that trick is with the images. Squiggly lines. If you got something that's going up, up and down, up and down, up and down on there, you need to resize that image and kind of squish it down. Once you squish it down, you'll wind up being able to actually read what's in there.
See, this is like the other side of the brain for me. It's just, I don't know. I don't think like that. Like, let's try this. To me, I'll always look at it and be like, nope, Jess, all you. Like, I have no idea. That's just like that.
So yeah, it's about, some of it's about the first time you see it, you haven't a clue what the heck it is, but then if you've seen a few of these or you heard about a few of these, you might be able to start to identify them pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously ciphers I can identify. I've seen enough of those, and anything that has to do, obviously, like the infamous black page. I know 9 times out of 10 it's in the code, and I could
in the HTML code is what he's talking about,
which I can quickly access.
Right.
Like, I know how that works. It's my job. So if it's anything like that, I can solve them. And I know to look in the images. Especially you save the image, you open it up in Photoshop. I mean, I have the whole Adobe Suite because it's my job. But like I can sometimes we've had cachers here that have put the chords really, really tiny in this huge image. Like really, really tiny chords. So like you got to find the chords within that huge image.
Yep.
Usually with a lot of things going on, and
I've even seen mathematical equations really tiny within the image that you have to figure out what the mathematical equation is and then solve it.
Yeah. Right before we started, I was trying to solve one that the images are that magic eye, and I can't do the magic eye things like to save my life. And so I know that there's a website out there where you can put the image in it and it will
I need to add that to the list because I've used that many times because my eyes just don't work right to do a magic eye.
Well, tell me what the site is because I can't find it now. It's not one that I bookmarked.
I'll have to do it after the show.
Yeah, we'll add that one to the list.
So did you have any others on images?
No, you pretty much covered them all.
Okay, so on to blank pages, as Scott was talking about. The most typical thing with blank pages is white text on a page. So you can do a Control A and to highlight everything on the page, and it's going to show up, or just try to select over the page, and it'll show up. Also, changing if you're using an app like CGO, which with the black background is what I normally use, it automatically just shows up because it's a white text. So
it's white text on the black background.
Exactly. So
and on Cachly, you can view the actual description of the cache in 3 ways. You can view it just a straight text version. You can view the web version, which is how it would show up on your browser, or you can actually show the source.
Okay.
On Cachly?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, you can use. I forgot you can view the source.
Yeah, you can toggle your view.
So yeah, as Scott was mentioning, so the next thing I have in my list here is hidden in the HTML code. Yes. This may not be the easiest to find for someone who doesn't play around with this type of stuff, but if you're going to do it, you can with Google Chrome, you can right click and open. It was an open page with what's it called?
Isn't it F12?
View source.
View source. I guess view page source or Control plus U.
Right. Yes.
For Google Chrome.
Command U on a Mac.
Yeah, and so what I do when I'm doing that, first thing I do is I copy the title of it, and I search down to the title. The title will be found twice within that page. And one of those, I think it's the second one, is where the HTML code actually comes into play. And I start reading down through that. And sometimes you'll find coordinates or even other links that are hidden within there. And sometimes even links to a specific location on an image. So the image itself that's within the page might not be. So I guess this is a blank page. But this is kind of goes back to the HTML side. Sometimes you'll have an image that has a link point within there, but it's like really one tiny small point, and unless you squiggled all the way across there, you wouldn't have seen it. You can find those when searching the HTML code as well.
I've also seen it where like one period in a sentence is a link.
Yep.
So
exactly.
You may not see it unless you go into the code and you're like, oh, that looks funny.
Right.
And going back to images real quick, I did think of another one where the title, the file name of the images gave a really good clue. So sometimes it might not be the image itself, but could be the title.
Right. And even the name of the file, changing that from a .jpeg to .gif on that same link. I found them where those are, it pulls up a different image. You're like, oh, that's neat. Okay. Anyways, so we can go on and on and on about images. So
really quickly though, the websites that you visit. Website. Or can we obviously for the people who are sitting at work and can't see this stuff? What are the websites? Can you just really quickly rattle off the websites?
So that I use.
Yeah.
So there's I use geocachingtoolbox.com. They're rumpkin.com/tools. It used to be known as Purple Hell.
Oh, Purple Hell, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's Rumpkin.
So now it's Rumpkin. So
I've not gone to Purple Hell in probably 10 years. But,
right. Well, it hasn't been around in the last 8 years.
Oh, really?
It became Rumpkin. So it basically they lost their rights to Purple Hell or something like that, and then they purchased another domain.
And so, what about Geocaching Toolbox? What's
the geocachingtoolbox.com. It's a good overall toolbox. It has some ciphers. It has some extra tools in there. I've got to open it up now. Sometimes I have to go through multiple of them to find the right thing that I want.
Well, obviously, yes. Obviously.
So it's got, coordinate conversions, distance and bearing, intersection of lines, all kinds of encryptions and ciphers.
It's like an app, but it's like
some text functions. Yeah.
It's an app, but if you're sitting at your desktop, it's nice to have a toolbox right there.
Braille, dancing men code.
Oh, nice.
Brainfucker, of course.
What's that?
So all kinds of different things within there. Another one is www.decode.fr for France. So it's a French one for deciphering codes.
Nice.
There's codemoji.org. There's Rapid Tables.
Guys, again, these are all in the show notes. I'm just trying to have.
Rapidtables.com. It's good for ASCII, binary, hex, decimal, other conversions like that. Base in conversions. We'll get into details about what those are later. There's apps for your phone like GCC for Android. There's geocacherscompass.com. It's a good puzzle resource page. And there's also a Facebook group called geocachingpuzzleshelp.com. So I occasionally help people out there on puzzles. The one thing that you don't do on there is you don't ask or help people on an FTF.
Do you actually help solve or help have you tried this kind of a thing?
I usually
will they give you the answer, or will they be like, try this?
Some people will give you the answer, but usually I would give a nudge. It's you might want to look at this. You might want to look at that.
Okay.
So
facebook.com/groups/geocaching puzzle help. Okay. Jesse, are you in that group?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. I know I'm in a few puzzle solving groups. I'm going to add a couple to his list. One is I don't know how to say it, so I'm just going to spell it. ELFQRIN.com. That's the first site that I go to if I think somehow it's some sort of cipher, because you put in your message, and then if you think there might be a keyword, you put that in. If not, you leave it blank and you hit process, and it spits out this huge long list of every possible combination of ciphers and rotations, and you just scroll through until you find one that makes sense.
Oh yeah, you've used that before. I've seen you use that before. That's it's Elfgren.
Elfgren with a Q. No, it's a Q.
Oh, it looked like a G.
Elfgren.com. So that's one that I use a lot.
Yes.
One that I use to crunch. Yes. Okay. Bookmarked. Yeah. One that I use to convert chords is earthpoint.us. That's very helpful. There's a ton of free features, and then there's also paying features if you want to. And then Omniglot, OMNIGLOT.com. It's an online encyclopedia of writing systems and languages.
Such a nerd.
And then one more, mathway.com is any kind of math, any math problem. I go there to mathway.com.
And they solve it?
Yeah. You type in the puzzle and you type in your math equation, and probably 99% of the time it will solve it for you.
Wow.
Jesse, they got good ones right there.
I'm too much of an engineer to use Mathway.
You have to figure it out yourself. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
If it's algebra, I'll do it. If it's trig or calc, that's been a really long time. So no.
Yeah, I might have to knock off a bit of Rust for calculus, but
okay. Well, so guys, again, those are all in the show notes. So again, you're gonna want to go to these show notes. If there's ever a show to go to the show notes for, this is the show. So if you're listening to this at work, you can go to the show notes and get all the links to all these beautiful things we're giving away for free, no charge.
All right.
Okay. So
continuing on blank pages. Yeah, continuing on blank pages, there is, of course, the related link, like I mentioned. So that's something that is often overlooked because it's almost never there. So people don't notice it. They go straight past the coordinates and start looking
Oh yeah,
down in the page.
I think I knew it was there, but I never pay attention to that. No.
I mean, I've even been caught up on it, and I've known to look for it. So it's one of those things that I forget about occasionally.
Hey, guys, real quick, if you also anybody out there have a link that we don't know about that we did not mention on this show, give us a call 808-468-7924 so others can enjoy the list as well. Sorry, continue. Sorry.
And one of the more evil things that I found on blank pages is you know how you got the bookmark list on the right hand side.
Absolutely, yeah.
I found a couple caches where someone had a friend make a bookmark list with that in it and make it public. And so if that cache is in there, it's going to show up on the page. And when you go into that bookmark list, it's got it spelled out with the comments in the list. Yeah, that was one
I
of
don't know
the.
if that would fly today, though. In today's geocaching world, do you think that would fly?
I think it would fly. You have a perfectly valid solution on the page.
I guess I don't know. They're pretty stingy now with that.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty evil puzzles published recently.
I've seen more evil than that. As long as there's a way to legitimately solve it,
right,
within the page, or within links. There might be links that take you out of the page, of course,
right.
But as long as there's a way to get to it, it should be, and it's solvable. It should be valid.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you have anything else on blank pages, Jesse?
No, you hit them all pretty much.
Okay, so the next thing I've got, and this goes into, there's so many of these ciphers, codes, numbers. It's like, oh my God, there are so many friggin' ciphers out there. So many common ones, such as Caesarean shift, which is the ROT13, which is the primary one of those. Right. Veneer cipher, Playfair, Baconian, Pigpen, Mason.
Baconator.
Huh?
Baconator.
Baconator.
I call it Baconator.
There's
Pigpen. I'm right.
What was that show? Kenny. There's a Kenny one from
South Park.
You kill Kenny, or how he mumbles all the time.
South Park. You're talking about South Park.
It's South Park, but it's called like Kenny Cipher or something like that.
So Jesse, would that website that you're talking about, would that totally help with the ciphers?
Yes.
What's it called? Which cast?
Elfcrin.
Elfcrin, yes.
Yep.
ELFQUIN.com.
No, QRIN.
Oh, QRIN.
.com/codecracker.php. We'll take
again, guys,
directly.
Once the show is over and posted live online, all this will be available to you.
Yeah, and several of those pages that I mentioned also have these ciphers within there, except for they don't try to figure out what cipher it is for you.
Right. Yes. Okay.
So let's get into some of the codes and symbol ciphers. So you're looking at the page and you're asking, why are there a bunch of emojis on my page, or what are all these funny symbols? One of the things that I like to do is go to do the image search. So search Google for this image by right clicking on it, and sometimes it'll come up with other examples of it. Sometimes it won't. If that doesn't work, what I typically do is I do a Google search for ciphers, and if you click on the image tab, and then you'll see a whole bunch of different ciphers, and then just try to find one that looks close to it and try to figure it out. Even if it's not perfect, you might be able to figure out what the name of the cipher is, and then you do another search with that cipher name, and you might find the one that's perfectly matched to it. Because sometimes, like a good example is the Dancing Man. One person's characters of the Dancing Man might not be perfectly matched to the characters that you're using, and some of them are so close you're like, what the heck is that? And so you need to get those resolved.
What is the Dancing Man? Jess, do I know the Dancing Man?
Probably Google it.
What is the
Dancing
I can't think of a
Man
Dancing Man
Cipher.
cipher. I can't. I got so many windows open. I can't Google a Dancing Man.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, it's literally just images, a stick figure going in, different directions. I know you've seen it.
With the flags.
Similar to the flags, but
Yeah,
it's
similar
just a
to
stick
flags.
figure. So,
Oh, I see a picture. Yes.
yep. And there's lots of, like Chad said, there's lots of different variations of it. So you have to find the one that's, identical.
Very cute.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So then also, hey, you got a bunch of numbers on your page. What are those numbers? What do they represent?
I don't know.
It could What's that?
I give it to Jesse.
Well, it could represent ASCII text. It could represent hex numbers or a base N number. A base N number is where N is the actual number is basically, our normal system is a 10-digit system from 0 through 9, and then it would ratchet up to the 10 through 19, et cetera, et cetera. And that ratchets up to 100, et cetera, et cetera. Well, imagine that it's base 23. So you'd go 0 through 23, and then next one is 10, and then you're going 10 through the next 23, et cetera, before that ratchets up. And so there are websites out there. I think one of them I included in there.
On the list, Chad?
It's on the list. I know I put it on the list. Let's see here. I know you're on there. Maybe I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. The Rapid Tables has it in there. So base conversions,
guys. So I'm gonna get you a definitive list for the show notes after the show.
So engineers, we kind of tend to do this stuff to screw with people,
Fair enough.
ASCII code is basically the.
I know what that is.
Yes. You should know what that is, but you might see it in hexadecimal format or 32-bit or binary, or there's all kinds of different ways that you might see it in there.
That's just not nice. That's just flat out.
It's to be not nice.
Yeah, it's just
or at least to say, hey, look, I know some computer stuff.
I don't mean to go off topic here, but how is that fun for anyone?
Some people actually enjoy it.
I enjoy it.
Is that fun?
As an engineer, I enjoy it.
You know what's fun for me? Putting on a backpack, going hiking in the woods, and finding some ammo cans. That's fun. I mean, I don't know. I'm totally going off on a tangent here.
But this gives us something to do on a rainy day.
What, nerds? Something to do on a rainy day?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
There are individuals in the world like me who get just as much enjoyment solving these damn puzzles.
Jesse is totally on your side.
Absolutely.
I am the definite minority in this conversation here.
I love when the kids ask me for help with their math homework. I'm like, okay. And I get very excited and animated when I'm explaining it to them.
She does.
Yeah.
So let me just interject here and go back to the plugins for your browsers. There are so many out there. One that I use that's super easy is Decoder. I use Google Chrome. It's Decoder with the backwards 3 for the E, so D3 Coder. And all you do is highlight your text and right click on it, and it gives you a drop down menu, and you can choose which code you think it is, and it will convert it for you. So for example,
are you including the plugins in the links? We need to do that.
It's in my notes. Well. Okay. It's in my notes. Yep. So that's one that I use. So you can do a rotation, you can do binary to hex, binary to text, HTML, base 64, leet speak, reverse text, lots of leet speak. I know, isn't that
Right.
cute? It's
Yep.
on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
So
I don't need the decoder for that.
yeah. So that's one that I use. And then another one that I use for images, going back to that, is TinEye. That's actually a website. You go to tineye.com, but there's also a plugin. And so you right click and you can just search TinEye directly. And TinEye will show you every single instance of that image on the website. So, yeah. So it's like just a huge database of images. So that's helpful sometimes.
Here's one that you don't typically see on modern puzzles, but some of the older puzzles I would see a lot of. If you have a several repeating numbers in there, and it could be old school texting code. So you know how you'd have to push
push 3 times for the C.
Push the number 2 3 times to get the C.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about like games like Sudoku and stuff like that? You see that all the time.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was one of the ones that I listed. We got puzzles coming up here in a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're jumping the gun.
I'm jumping ahead. I apologize.
All right.
FYI 9:15. That's just giving you a time check there, Jack.
I think we're good.
I think we're getting there.
All right. That's awesome.
So there's also some symbols that could be symbols on your keyboard, such as the shift pound key is for the number, or it would be for 5 or
no 3.
3. The percent was the 5. Okay. So sometimes if you got a bunch of the characters like the @ symbol, pound, $sign, look at your keyboard and see if you can't convert that. Now, if there's something that's in a different language, maybe you should look up images for that language's keyboard, because not all languages use the same ordering there for it.
Even English. There's a US and there's a British, isn't there? A UK and a
right. I mean, we don't have the UK pound symbol for financial pound symbol on our keyboard, and they don't have the $sign on theirs.
Where?
So, okay. So now on to puzzles and games.
Sudoku.
So there's some puzzles like Sudoku that there are actual online solvers if you're not a Sudoku player. I like Sudoku personally.
Chad, do you go to the puzzles or do you actually solve it?
It depends on how big it is.
Yep.
If it's really big and I don't have time, I don't do it. But I mean, I can show you. I've got Sudoku on my phone, so.
You're Sudoku. Jesse, what do you do?
Do I solve them or do I use a solver?
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
It depends. If it's just a standard 9-digit Sudoku, I would probably solve it myself. If it's because there's so many variations of it. So, there's bigger, more numbers, there's letter ones, there's like almost, I don't remember what it's called, but it's almost like a 3D one. And those, no, I usually go to the solvers. I know.
And again, do we have a Sudoku solver in here?
There,
in this list.
The Geocacher's Compass site, Chad and I both actually had that one in our notes.
Where is it? Geocacherscompass.com/puzzle.
Puzzle-resources. Yeah, that list is very extensive, and there are online puzzle solvers.
Yeah. If you don't see it in one of these, just Google blah 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 solver.
Yes.
And there's so many solvers for so many things out there. I mean, some of them, they can make them so that they're a headache. So,
right. Okay, fair enough. Continue on.
So
this is the one. Okay, this is what I see. I see a lot of our puzzles here in Chicago have these. They put a bunch of coordinates on the page.
What?
Well, I look at it and I'm like, I'll wait till somebody I know solves it.
There's so many different things that could be. One of the things that I tend to do first is start copying and pasting them into Google Maps, switch to satellite view, and does that look like something? You'll find sometimes that it looks they're over the top of buildings that are objects that look like letters or numbers or things like that. So it might actually spell out something or give you the coordinate values there with that. I even found one that did it with Braille. That was interesting. It's like, how did you find the combinations of what would be a 6-shaped building?
Wow.
And with the correct missing ones, and it was like it's like, wow, someone spent some effort into looking up those satellite views.
Yeah. Or they may all have something in common. They may, like, I saw one that was all baseball stadiums. So it was the different towns or the different teams, or there's something more to the puzzle, but that's just the start.
Right. So yeah, that's a good example there. But then again, maybe there's some math manipulation. One of the things that I also do is I'll take those and plot pins in Google Earth, and which is a app that you can get on your PC, and then start laying them out. Sometimes they'll lay out in a somewhat triangular fashion, or in a fashion that looks like it's like you can go across the center. So you draw lines across there and you find a common intersection point. Ooh, that might be it. So maybe there are caches at those locations, and you've got to use information from that as well.
Mm-hmm. I found one like that where the description of the puzzle gave you a hint to figure out which particular cache he was talking about. It was a very specific cache. And so then you had to go and get the coordinates for that particular cache and plug that into the solver. And then he gave you the real chords.
Right. And those can be challenges for people who are out of town trying to solve it, or they gave hints about a local cacher and that kind of stuff, and you're like, I don't know this local cacher. I don't know what kind of hides he does. I don't know what this, that, or the other. But yeah, some of those can be pretty fun to solve as well.
No, they're not, Chad.
So
Not fun at all.
No fun at all. Yeah, sure they are.
So if I don't have a clue, Chad, I don't have any clue.
Yeah.
Now what do I do?
Oh, that's normal for you. So no. Feel free to contact the cache owner. So I'd say 99% of the puzzle hiders actually want you to find their cache. Most at a minimum will try to give you a useful nudge in the right direction. If you don't want to talk to the cache owner, maybe ping someone who has found the cache and ask them if they can give you a hint.
I don't ask them for the hint. I asked them for the chords, Chad.
I won't give you the chords.
You wouldn't give me the chords, really?
I won't give you the chords unless you've shown to me that you've made you've made significant
even your best buddy
efforts.
You won't even give them the chords.
If they're out caching with me and they find the cache, yeah. That's a different story.
Chad, I'm in this area. I'm coming to your town. I'll be in the area. I really want this cache. It's a high DT. Will you give me the chords? You wouldn't give me the chords?
Depends on how well you bribe me.
To bribe you, really?
No, I would rather you at least make an effort at it. To be honest,
I'm not.
But yeah, definitely don't be afraid to ask for a little help. I wouldn't just be going out there, hey dude, can you give me the chords to this? That's kind of rude. I know Scott's accepting of this, but that's kind of
absolutely
rude.
accept. I ask for the chords. Yes.
That being said, I don't have an issue trading. Like, hey, do you have the chords for this one? I have the chords for that one.
Right.
I can't solve that puzzle. Do you want to exchange?
Yeah, there's a lot of trading of chords that goes on around here. I don't think there was. I wasn't aware of any trading accords going on in Houston. It was like, you got to solve it, dude. But
Really?
people will help you out. So people will give you nudges and hints and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I'm also the type of puzzle person that, unless I can figure out how to solve the puzzle, I don't necessarily 100% need to solve it. I have to understand how it's solved.
Really?
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Otherwise, I won't log it. So out of the 874 caches that I have solved for Geo Woodstock, 11 of them I could not solve myself. I needed assistance.
Wow, that's pretty good. You're set to go, man.
Admittedly, that is significantly higher than my average.
And are you
These puzzles were they were intent. They were put out there with a very intent to have a high solve rate. So there are cachers out there that put out puzzle caches that have intent. The intent is to warp your brain.
and so are you gonna go for the come on, just help me. What's gonna be there?
This time I can't read your mind. Normally I can.
I know you're really good about it.
This time I
Come
don't
on,
know which
he's
way
gonna
you're
go-
going
what's he
to.
gonna go to? He's gonna go to the geocaching thing.
He's going to the mega, the giga,
And then what's at the giga?
the maze.
The maze.
There you go. Thank you, Jess.
I
Yeah.
knew what the stirring finger meant.
Are you going for the maze, Jess?
The GPS maze.
Yes.
Yes,
Are you
I'm doing that on Monday.
Are you super excited?
I'm super excited to get the icon.
Aren't you super excited to do the maze?
He's gonna get the icon.
I'm super excited to get the icon. I will reserve my excitement about the GPS maze because I have been forewarned.
I look forward to hearing your honest opinion of the
Yep.
maze.
Me too.
Jesse, before we go, do you have anything to add here? I know you have some notes.
I do. I do. I got a couple of things. The
Okay.
first thing is, don't overthink the puzzle. So
Oh God, I do that all the time.
Okay, here's a story for you. I stared at a puzzle local here for probably 2 years, and it was a math puzzle. So of course it drove me insane, absolutely insane, because I could not figure it out. And I'm looking at it. I mean, 2 years literally, thinking this has to be easy. Why can't I solve this? And it's something like, in a world where 8 + 4 = 1 and 3 - 9 equals, no, I can't do the math in my head. 3 - 9 = 2 or something
8, 4,
like that.
1, 3, 9,
Right.
2.
Yeah. And so then you had to solve for these other equations based on these first equations that you're given. And
Okay.
I could not, for the life of me, solve this stupid thing. And I'm like trying all this algebra and all of this other stuff. 2 years, I finally asked somebody, okay, give me a nudge. I can't do this. It was time. It was a 12-hour clock.
Oh yeah.
Like, are you kidding? It took me 2 years to figure this out. I so overthought this puzzle.
Oh yeah.
You know,
What was the DT on? What was the difficulty on it?
I don't know, like a 2.5 2 or something. I mean, it was not terribly difficult, which again made me even more frustrated because like this isn't supposed to be difficult. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And-
when I go to a puzzle owner and ask them about it, I list out all the things that I've tried, and I've so many times I've come back as like, yeah, you're way overthinking it.
Yeah.
Go down this path. It's like,
Right.
oh, that was simple. I took the simple and made it complicated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. And then the other thing to keep in mind is whoever created this puzzle got the information from somewhere. So the information is out there. You can find it. Sometimes you'll find it a lot quicker and a lot easier than other times, but eventually you will find that information. It's there. You just have to find the right path to get there and then work the puzzle backwards.
Yes. Anything else?
Yeah, definitely. Also, don't be afraid if you see that I solved a cache. Um, Feel free to ping me. I get people that ping me fairly regularly, and even local cachers here who were trying to solve E-cranes or Billeroys or some of the harder puzzle guys here. We will ping ideas off of each other frequently. So find a puzzle buddy, ping some ideas off of them.
Mm-hmm. One thing is I also noticed when I rarely try and solve puzzles, but I initially try. I'll start. I'll look at it, and sometimes I'll quickly to work off of. It's a lot of times I work off the actual chord, so I know what. Like for example, Justin and I live in a 42,
Oh, yeah.
42 West 87 or 88 area.
Oh, yeah. I have this in my notes. Go ahead.
Oh, is it? And so we know, like I know the first two numbers are going to be a 42, or usually an 87. So I can sometimes work off of that.
Yes.
Okay, I know this is a 4, and I know this is a 2, and I know
Right.
this is an 8.
How can I make this be 42? How can I make that into
How
this
could you make
particular
that,
number?
How could you make that
Yeah.
42? How could you make that 87?
But you also have to keep in mind that sometimes you might not be solving for the entire
Right.
set of coordinates. Maybe you're just
Last
solving
3.
for the last 3.
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe you're trying to solve the letters to actually be spelled out. FOUR,
Right.
TWO, so there's lots of things that you could be trying to work through.
Yeah, sometimes it'll be a cipher that literally says North 42 West blah blah blah, and in there you can actually wind up picking out, oh, this word is north, this word is that, this word is that, and even though it's not a common cipher that you can just look up somewhere, you're able to eventually figure out the letters and then just start solving it that way.
Right. Yeah, sure. I just noticed how red I am in this thing. Look at my face.
Did you get a little sun today?
No, I got a little sun on the weekend.
I'm peeling. If I get close to the camera, you'll see my forehead is peeling.
Sorry, guys, I totally stopped the show, but I am super red. My kids had 3 games on Saturday. I was outside all day. If you look at Jesse's nose is red too.
I'm pretty red.
All right. Anything else, kids? Before we wrap this up, it is 9:30.
I think that's about all I had.
Again, everybody, all this will be in the show notes. Once the show goes onto our website, just go to our archive section and then go onto the show notes area. I think it's V+A+ show notes, and you click on today's show, and you can see the show notes, and all those links and everything we've talked about today will also be in the show notes. So if there's ever a day, ever a show you want to go to the show notes, this is the show. So next week, kids, we continue with Mystery May.
Yay.
And we go to what makes a good mystery cache. Jesse Brown is taking the lead on this one. Jesse Brown, are you ready to talk about what makes a good mystery cache next week?
No, I think I'm going to have a little work cut out for me this week.
But what makes a good mystery cache, kids? That's what we're going to be talking about next week. So thank you, everybody, for coming and watching tonight. I think we gave everybody a good start on puzzle solving and some help, some excellent links here. I think even Chad got some new links tonight. So he stole some from Jesse. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jesse.
Hey, my links were in here before Jesse's links were.
Yes, they were. He did very good. So, all right, everybody. So let's close the show again next week. What makes a good mystery cache is coming next week. So here we go. Please join us again next week to take your calls live every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, right here at the geocachingpodcast.com. The archive video versions of our podcasts are available on our website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on most of your favorite podcasters. If you like the show, please head on over to Apple iTunes and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. It really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, please subscribe to the show on YouTube, and don't forget to click the little bell in the corner to get notified when we go live. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter for updates on upcoming shows and general geocaching information. And hey, if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you'll get a ton of additional information, extra videos, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head on over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/the Geocaching Podcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cachly, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Sets Body Company, and our brand new welcome to the family sponsor, Practical Geocaching. Please visit our sponsors. Then when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week. So we'll see you next week talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones, and we'll talk to you guys next week. We are clear. There you go. Hey Chad, is it a giga yet? The Texas one?
It hasn't been officially declared a giga. Let me.
Somebody asked in the chat room if it was a giga.
I think I said giga and I meant mega.
Oh, Jesse Brown throwing him off.
I said the giga, mega.
The Gamema, no, Gigma.
Gigma.
Call it a Gigma.
Let's see here.
It's a Gigma.
Woodstock, Texas. Can't find that.
It is a Gigma.
I want to see how many people have registered a will attend.
I don't know if it was. I think it was Goblin who asked. Yeah, no, Bounce Boss asked. I don't know if he's in the room anymore or not. You're wasting your time if he's on the room. Unless you're curious. It's gonna cut a club. I'm sure it'll probably get there. I'm sure it'll get there.
Yeah, it'll likely get there.
That's my guess at some point. I'm okay. I'm okay with not going. I can't go. I got way too much kid stuff going on. Man, I am like super red.
Yes, you are.
I wound up being off the show for a couple of seconds there. I was looking up the link for the Magic Eye, and I clicked the link and like,
Click through.
Oh.
oopsie.
I hate when I do that. Yeah. All right, guys. We're gonna go offline. Chad, are you saying yes or no? Or you don't know yet? We don't know yet.
Well, right now they have. I'm on the page. I'm scrolling. 2,500 people with Willetons. 2,571.
And how many for a Giga 5?
It's 5,000 attendees for a giga. They usually account for a lot more swelling at the very end, and then a lot of people having dual accounts. So it's something like probably around 3,000 that they actually need.
Uh-huh. There you go.
We'll see.
All right. All right, guys. We will talk to you next week to continue with Mystery May. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.